Okay, what's up guys? Welcome back. So we're gonna do some other stuff today. So we basically got a lot of the engine put back together. Most of it's done, but I'm not working on the engine today. I did get the chain tensioner dealy, so that's in the mail. I just didn't take it out yet. But what I'm working on today is the transmission on the Ranger. So working on the truck, and I got the pan and everything out. I wanted to look at, because I was having that torque converter slipping issue, I wanted to look at the fluid and just pulled the pan. Pan is really dirty. I was expecting to see a lot of material in there though, because I know the converter was slipping. So what's really driving this decision and to start working on this instead of that is, one, I'm waiting on parts, and two, I got some parts. So let's look at this. So the other day I was cruising around on Sloppy Mechanics Classifieds page, and some guy was selling this thing. So this is a Circle D triple disc, and it was a really good price. It was like half of retail. So he's upgrading. He's going to a PTC and not going to be using the Circle D triple disc anymore. It says it has 3,000 miles on it. Everything looks pretty decent with it. So it was like half price, less than half price, including shipping. So I felt like I had to snatch it up because I was planning on buying one of these in the next month or two anyways. So to me, it seemed like it was a decent deal, like I should have done it instead of waiting another month and then spending another $700 on it. So just went ahead and did that, even though it's used, low mileage, should be low risk. So, and the timing was just right because I needed one for this thing anyways. So I think what I'm going to end up doing, and I asked the group on the 821 Bravo Facebook page, what do you want to see me do? You want to see me just put it in right away and go for it, or go to the stock converter for a little while? Because that was my original plan, was put the stock converter back in, get the slipping converter out of there, put the stock one in, and then drive it for a little while, go to the track a couple times, and then change it again and see the differences, which doesn't really seem like anybody's really interested in that. I'm not really that interested in doing the work, especially if nobody cares about it. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put the thing in there, but I'm kind of seeing some things that are maybe not so great. So here's the fluid out of the transmission, and it's really dark, which I expected that because I know it was hot and it was slipping and there's a lot of clutch material in it. But this is the fluid from the transfer case. And this was like a brand new refurbished transfer case. And it looks like there's a lot of material in there. So, not really sure what that means. Maybe it's just like a break-in thing. I don't know. I'm going to run it either way, but I'll do a fluid flush on it and we'll see what happens. But I'm going to do all new fluid on here for the transmission. I did look at the filter. The filter looked like it's okay. There wasn't any chunks or anything in it. So I'm going to go ahead now and pull the transmission. I got to disconnect the transmission, pull it back so I can get the converter off. But while I'm doing this, I'm brainstorming a lot of ideas because it's very difficult to get to the transmission bell housing bolts. And I've talked about this before and the wiring and everything here. So one of the things I know I want to upgrade is doing the harness differently, different intake, and it's really, I'm kind of brainstorming now what I kind of want to do, a whole separate different version of this truck. I added the four-wheel drive now, and everything is getting very complex and a little bit more difficult to work on. So it's to the point now where if I want to make a quick change or do something quick, it's not so quick anymore. So even like taking the crossover pipe off, because I had to modify the crossover pipe, I added the differential, added the front drive shaft. The crossover pipe, I used to be able to go under with a 13 mil and loosen the two V-bands and pop the crossover right off. It wasn't really a big deal. It took probably 5 minutes. Now it's taken like almost 25 minutes because I got to go under, take the transfer case skid plate off, take the front drive shaft out, reach around the front differential, and I can barely even reach the V-band. So it ended up taking like 25, almost 30 minutes just to get the crossover pipe off. So things are getting a little bit more complex. I'm upgrading it, improving it, but things are just kind of like add on, add on, add on. It's getting a little harder to work on. So kind of brainstorming a whole a revamp of this whole thing. I'd like to maybe keep the same stuff, but maybe in the next month or two or a couple months, we can start to work on this thing while we're driving the car and enjoying the car. This is all in theory, right? Everything perfect world. So driving, enjoying the car. On the weekends, putzing around, we have something to drive and something to work on. So ideally, what I would think I would want to do is, I like the twin turbo stuff, and I think it would be very cool to have like a symmetrical design, relocate the battery, do a twin turbo thing, and eliminate the whole crossover altogether. So I don't know. I'm just brainstorming right now. Let's get back to business. One thing I want to show you guys. I'll try to crawl under quick. Torque converter doesn't look very good. So, which makes sense if it was slipping, because I had probably at least 40 or 50 miles on it with it slipping at 300 to 700 RPM. So if it's consistently slipping, I guess it got a little warm. So I want to show you guys something. So I don't know if you guys can see that. That whole like billet aluminum section, how blue that is. Yeah. The thing got hot. The thing got really hot. I'm hoping that it's not because of the crossover, because I had to raise the crossover up. I wouldn't think that the crossover from the exhaust while that thing is spinning like that would create that much heat that it's going to turn the thing blue. But one of the things I think I'm talking about to disprove this theory of the crossover is look at the snout going into the trans. The snout going into the trans is completely blue. So this thing is like hot. So it's coming out. So I'm glad we're doing this. Glad we're pulling it out. Yeah, he's got the converter completely out. A lot of you guys probably saw this already on the 821 Bravo Facebook page, but this thing is pretty cooked. It'd be kind of hard to tell on the camera, but it's like completely dark. You know, there used to be, this is all billet aluminum. It's completely smoked. So yeah, I'll flip this thing over and we can look at the snout, because the snout's all discolored too. Here's the other side. Look at that. Look at all the bluing. Things are completely black. So this thing must have got hot. I was doing a little research on how hot, you know, aluminum needs to get before it does this bluing. I'm sure it's pretty hot, but the fluid temps didn't really reflect that. But as when it was doing the slipping, it started at 145 degrees the first time that it did it when I was watching it. And the one time I was doing it was cruising, the temps only got to like 169, 170. So it wasn't like the transmission temps were bad, but this thing was getting hot, definitely. So I did go ahead and put the neutral safety switch back on. A subscriber sent me this thing just because I needed one, and I needed it for ice racing, but we kind of ran out of time. So now that I have it, I'm just going to put it on while everything's out. And I put the actual 4L80 GM linkage back on. So I was using this linkage right here. This is actually one that I made during the budget build portion of the truck, when I was trying to just do everything as cheap as I could and with what I had laying around. So this one was, I didn't have the... Let me figure out how this went here. So when I got the transmission, it had a neutral safety switch, but I got rid of it because it didn't have the linkage, and I needed to modify this linkage to get it on there. This linkage is from the factory Ford Ranger transmission that I pulled out of it, and there's a flat spot on this little rod here. So what I did, I just took 2 nuts and then welded them on there for the flat spot, and that's what I've been using. So you can see the length is quite a bit different. So I'm thinking this might actually help my shifting. When I pull it out of park, it's a little bit difficult because of the angle. So I think that this might actually help it, having the right stuff on there now finally. So not sure if I'm going to hook it up yet, but it'll be there. And I think I just got to change a couple of the wires and should be good. So kind of doing some things, making some improvements, making it all better. And while we're in here, just for the sake of transparency, so when I did the 4-wheel drive conversion, there's supposed to be a solid plug in here, and you can see that that plug is solid. But what I did, I just JB welded the inside of the orifice plug because I got a plug for it, but it ended up not being the right size. It didn't fit. So in the interest of time, trying to get it back together, instead of waiting, I just JB welded it. So in preparation for this and knowing that I was going to, I was still waiting on these cooler fittings and I was going to pull it out to change the converter, I did go ahead and order the correct AC Delco plug. So I'm going to pop this old plug out now and then put the right one in there. So kind of a dirty laundry type item, but I figured I'd share it because that's what we do. I got the old JB Weld plug out of there. So here was the old one, and then there's the new solid plug in there. So basically, this is for the two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive conversion. Two-wheel drive has the little orifice plug that has a hole in it for the rear lubrication on the extension housing, for the rear lubrication on the extension housing bushing. Holy crap! So this one's just a solid plug. All right, so now I'm going to be ready to put the adapter back on for the transfer case, and transmission's ready to go back in the truck. All right, so we got the Circle D on there, and I am going to be, because of the torsion bars, I do usually just tip it forward. So what I wanted to do was put it on and tip it forward and not have to worry about it. So I had a nice thick piece of aluminum. I think this was from like a battery hold down that I got from like a CRX or something like that. I've had it for years. I don't even remember what it's from, but just used a bolt, bolted it to the bell housing, and then bolted it in here. So this thing's nice and tight in there. It's not going to fall off when I tip it forward. So now we'll do that and get it underneath. Alright, so I did finally get my fittings in. I was waiting on these 90s for a while. I ended up buying the wrong size. I waited like 40 days for these things to come from China, and then I ended up buying the wrong size, so I had to order some other ones. So just kind of bought them semi-locally. So got the little 90s coming out, and then I'm going to use another -6 line to convert everything over. So these will be a little bit more easier. More easier? Wow. These will be a little bit easier to work on. I just can't stand those little like flare lines that go in there, so hopefully these things fit. I had the little barbs coming straight out, but they were hitting the trans tunnel, so we're going with the 90s. I'm going completely insane. So the way that this works out, I can kind of get it in just behind the bell housing. Does clear. Torsion bar key mount. And I can get it under. Oh, and that was, I made that look easy, but it has never been that easy before. That worked out pretty good. And I need a haircut.
We're gonna cut Dad's hair.
Got a bunch of transmission fluid in my hair today, so it's kind of long. Let's get the other kid up. Everything from here down is off limits.
Okay.
Don't touch my beard.
Up here, up here. You're doing good, Dad. And I can Can I see? Are you bleeding? Are you bleeding?
Oh yeah.
You're doing it. Now, I'm gonna cut Theo's hair after. Don't cut his hair. Why?
Alright guys, everything is pretty much back in now. I do got to do the rear drive shaft, front drive shaft, and a couple other things, but everything else is in. The triple disc is in. I do have to, you know, do the bolts, flywheel bolts, flex plate bolts, put the starter back in. A couple other touch-up things, put the fluid in, but other than that, this thing's pretty much ready to go. So I would like to possibly go drive this thing tomorrow. That is the plan. So I got to go to work, get out of work, go pick some stuff up, come home, whip this together, and then go drive it. That's the plan. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.